Hi, today news is pickup truck into a crowd of people in New Orleans killing 15 and injuring 35 had posted videos supporting the Islamic State group. Mere hours earlier, the victims were walking through Bourbon Street in the central French quarter of the city, an area famed for its nightlife in the early hours of New Year's Day. The FBI has identified the attacker, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a US citizen and army veteran from Texas, who served in Afghanistan. He was killed in a police shootout in which two officers were injured. Authorities say the attack was an act of terrorism and are investigating whether Jabbar had accomplices. Well, the pictures checked by IKT Verify shows heavily armed officers surrounding a pickup truck directly after the attack, and his flag was found in the vehicle along with potential explosive devices from New Orleans. Tom Bittman reports Shamsuddin Jabbar now the focus of intensive FBI investigation. The man believed to be responsible for this New Year's Day attack just after 3 a.m. chaos unfolds. The first signs of panic as police race of the scene, what they find, much of which is too graphic to show, is the immediate aftermath of rhyming attack. This is where the attack began. That white pickup truck moving down the street towards the direction we are in slowly at first before getting to the junction. Here with Bourbon Street, this very famous thought fair in the historic part of the New Orleans, he took a right and then accelerated quickly down the street behind that police truck. There last night, President Biden said he was being briefed by the authorities. Good evening. The law enforcement intelligence community continuing to look for any connections, association or conspiration. We have nothing additional report at this time. Dozens were wounded in this attack, including two police officers hit by gunfire. Police evacuated a wide area and say they found a potential explosive device in the truck and other possible devices outside in before they carried out controlled explosions. The FBI says the attack is being investigated as an act of terrorism as its flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential association and affiliations with terrorist organization, weapons and potential improvised explosive devices. IEDs were located in the subject vehicle. Other potential IEDs were also located in the French Quarter. Investigators are scoring the scene for clues or further details emerge about Shamsuddin Jabbar, including his US military background, while trying to establish who else may have been involved. Orleans, well, our correspondent Kael Ness, who's been at the scene, gave us the latest on the investigating the French Quarter, Bourbon Street here behind me. Still an active crime scene. Some of the pieces here, including whether or not there were other peoples involved in this attack. There were some suggestion of co-conspirators. Those might have come from CCTV footage that appear to show several individuals in the area where explosive devices were discovered along that outside of that vehicle. We understand now too that those individuals are no longer of interest in this case, but authorities continue to look in other locations. This is expanding now. A rental property also in New Orleans, about 2 miles away from where we are, where it's believed the suspect stayed and might have put together some of those explosive materials. And even in the neighboring state in Texas, the city of Houston, that is where the suspect is believed to be from, authorities there are now searching his property. When it comes to New Orleans, the people living here, understandably, they are grieving for those 15 people that died in this attack. They are a bit uneasy. This was not the New Year celebration, of course, that they were hoping for, but even so, the city now showing signs that it's trying to get back into what it does best, which is have fun. People emerging back onto the streets again tonight, having a bit of fun in listening to music, a bit of dancing. And the next big test of New Orleans will be Thursday afternoon, this big Sugar Bowl college football game. 68,000 people expected to attend, so not just a test of the city mood, but also the next test, security car announcement. Well, we will be live in New Orleans later in the program. We are joined who work for the US Secret Service. You've been looking at some evidence emerging from the attack in New Orleans. What are your observations? Well, this is a man who that was financially gripped by us poor business practices. He's been sued in courts by his ex-wife, the child support, back in 2012. He served in the military from what we understand at this point, and I can't help but to speculate, is this or is he actually a member of his sleeper cell, and is this weird way of relationing for our airstrikes in Syria a couple of weeks ago, we used B-52s, and I know it took casualties in those actions in Syria. This could be very well their response, and I am not quite certain the attack is over yet, and this is why you see the football game being delayed another day. There's more information yet to come. How could you characterize this attack when which use a rental vehicle? Yeah, this is obviously a terrorist attack. If he used a rental vehicle, that would make it a little bit more difficult. So figure out in advance his actions. We have heard it is cross the border between the US and Mexico. That is yet to really be seen 100%, and that's why we are hearing some statements about the immigration and border control that expect now. You say that you think that it may be that is attack is not over yet, and we are also hearing from the United States investigators believe that this man was not solely responsible, that they could you be accomplish. Is that how you what you are thinking? I am thinking that too, until they can educate that and check all the surveillance videos, which there's a tremendous amount, it takes a tremendous amount of time to go through all the evidence to ensure safety, and I think they did a good job ensuring safety first by pushing back that football game. But in the future you are going to have security forces, the police coordinating of areas where there's huge parades, like in New York City for instance, or New Orleans like the other night, where you are going to have jersey barriers, cement barriers to prevent vehicles from entering, or as a temporary means buses or sanitation trucks like we heard other reports. This is going to have to be the new norm. No is vehicles, it will have to be allowed to be in that area. Thank you so much.